There's always a moment, one you don't see coming, that quietly rearranges your life. Not the dramatic movie scene moment, not the big explosion or the loud breakdown. I'm talking about the subtle shift, the whisper, the moment that feels small on the outside but hits your spirit like, pay attention, something is changing. This episode is about the moment my year turned, the moment I didn't know would become the beginning of everything that followed.
Welcome to another episode of the Blemished Beauty Podcast. This podcast was designed with you in mind. If you're ready to erase the norm and embrace the truth, come pull up a chair, grab a journal, and tell a friend that your favorite Jersey girl is back with another episode. So let's get into it.
Welcome to another episode of the Blemish Beauty Podcast. I'm your host and favorite Jersey girl, Shira Renee. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you for coming, and I hope you stick around and become a part of my community. In this space, we focus on things that we cover up and learn tips and ideas that will transform our minds and prepare us for the new and best version of ourselves. So with that being said, let's get into today's episode. I know it's been a while and we have lots to catch up on, but before I get into everything that's going on with me, I want to know, how are you? I pray you have started the year with a positive mindset and kept that momentum going up until this point. But if you haven't, I want you to consider this as your reminder to get back in gear. We are wrapping up the first quarter of the year, and usually around this time, most of us get weary and go back to the things that we are familiar with. Cuffing season is over, and spring is right around the corner. This is when I get a little more pep in my step because my birthday is in April, and this year is even more special because your girl will be 40 years old. Now, most people dread this milestone, but I'm embracing it because these last 4 decades have taught me so much. And one of the most important lessons is life is too short to live it unintentionally. So season 6 is dedicated to a special friend of mine that I lost last year, Mr. Terry, aka the Guru Little. He passed away last year fighting with cancer, and I found out that he was gone because he popped up in my spirit. And when someone pops up in my spirit, I always vow to check in on them. So I went over to his FB page, Facebook, for those of you who don't know what FB is, and I saw all of these RIP posts. Now, I remembered in that moment that I had reached out to him back in November for Thanksgiving just to check in to see how he was doing. So to my surprise, when I saw that, it dawned on me how much that I let life and how much time had passed since we had last had a conversation. So in that moment, I was completely devastated. To be honest, I didn't have any plans on returning to this mic anytime soon because I wanted to focus on my new addition, but I felt like I owed it to him to continue to do what I've been designed to do, and that's to help you own your scars. He was a friend, he was a fellow podcaster, and he was the host of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. So when you get a chance, go and check it out, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I remember the last conversation we had, I told him to continue to release episodes about his journey because it was not only therapeutic for him, but years later, his legacy and his memory would surpass him. And I'm glad that he listened. So now I must take my own advice. So here I am. The last time we sat and had a conversation, I was preparing to celebrate my 39th birthday. A week later, my oldest would be turning 16, and my youngest was going to prepare to move up from pre-K to kindergarten. My summer was going to consist of wings, wine, and travel because life was finally getting to a place where I was able to manage it and still have a personal life. The birthdays came, me and my oldest son, and right before my youngest moving up celebration, I find out I'm pregnant. And that moment, I prayed I was seeing things because, one, I wasn't wearing my glasses, and two, this was not what I had planned. Now, physically, I wasn't in the greatest position to be birthing no babies, and emotionally, I was all over the place. This year, for some reason, was the hardest for me emotionally. I was still struggling with the loss of my uncle, so my birthday is never really the same and hasn't been the same since he passed because he passed 4 days after my 37th birthday. But before taking this test, to see if I was really pregnant, I remember crying so hard on my birthday because even though my uncle has been gone for some time, this birthday in particular, I missed him so much. I just wanted to see his smile or hear his laugh over the phone and hear him wish me happy birthday. And knowing that I would never get that opportunity again just broke my heart all over. And it still felt like the year that I got that call. I wrestled with the thoughts of what I should do moving forward, but then something came over me and made me think maybe this was my uncle's gift to me. Since he couldn't be here, he decided to send someone who could. Little did I know that this gift would arrive in the same exact month that he was born, have his skin tone, and his warm smile. The first person I knew I had to call was my sister Nikki. She is my human moral compass and confidant, so I had to call her with the news. And this news was going to change my life forever. And I knew after telling her and then telling my spouse and then later telling my mom, I had to get to a place where I had to make some hard decisions, and they had to be made ASAP. I knew in that moment that financially we were not prepared to have another child, and I also knew the physical risk I could potentially endure, but all of that was overpowered by the thought of how awesome this child could be and what God had planned for his or her life. Now, we all have a mission in this life. God has designed us to do great things and be examples of him on earth. It's never about us. It is always about what God is trying to do in us. And I knew there are so many women who wish they could get pregnant and or have a baby reach full term. And after having a miscarriage in 2018, I knew this baby deserved a chance to show the world what it was made of. This was the moment I knew it was time for a shift. Now, this shift taught me that, one, shifts don't always announce themselves. Sometimes the biggest turning points come disguised as ordinary days. Two, your body knows before your mind admits it. That soul tired feeling, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Three, change begins with honesty, not action. The moment you tell yourself the truth, you've already started becoming someone new. And four, you don't have to collapse to wake up. Not every transformation starts with a breakdown. Sometimes it starts with a whisper. Life is unpredictable, but if you set it up just right, you will be less shaken when the unexpected happens. And in that moment, I had a lot to do. I knew in most cases that's easier said than done. But, as they say, life is life, right? God is calling us to a higher level of understanding. Everything that is and will happen is not new to him. And in fact, it's a blessing in disguise. No battle was too hard for God, and no journey is too messy that you can't find the silver lining in it. I had to learn that whatever hand I'm dealt, I must play it to the best of my ability. So I want to encourage you to do the same. It's time to tap into who you are and whose you are and allow yourself to grow into the force you were destined to become. Before we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with some tips on what to do when you find yourself entering a new chapter in life. 1, let yourself arrive before you thrive. This was a pivotal step for me because I always have a plan. We rush so quickly to figuring it out that we forget to arrive. Every new season has a settling period. Give yourself space to breathe, observe, and adjust. You don't have to master a chapter you just opened. 2, release what can't come with you. Baggage is heavy enough, so why carry unnecessary weight? Every elevation requires a shedding. Old habits, old expectations, old versions of you, they serve their purpose. But new seasons demand new capacity, so make room. 3, set an intention, not a performance goal. Being intentional has been my mindset for the last year, and losing people you love will make you appreciate the time that you have left. Well, at least it should. So instead of, I need to accomplish this, try, I want to become someone who. Intention shapes identity. Identity shapes action, and action shapes outcome. 4, build rituals that support who you're becoming. Change and alignment go hand in hand. It's okay to step out your comfort zone and try something new. Rituals are the anchors that keep you steady when everything else feels unfamiliar. A grounding morning routine, a weekly check-in, a digital boundary, whatever helps you stay aligned, do it. 5, tell the truth about what you need. They say closed mouths don't get fed, and this is something I'm still learning how to do. Asking for help, especially when you're so used to doing things by yourself, has been difficult for me, but it will show you exactly who's there for you. Support, space, encouragement, accountability. Say it out loud. New seasons thrive on clarity, not silent suffering. 6, expect discomfort. It's part of expansion. Growth rarely feels grateful. It feels awkward. It feels stretchy. It feels unfamiliar. But that's usually the sign you're right on time. 7, stay curious instead of critical. Remember, I said earlier to focus on the teachable moments. Shift from, why is this happening to me, to, what is this season trying to teach me? Curiosity keeps you open. Criticism shuts you down. 8, surround yourself with people who speak to your future. Who you surround yourself with matters. Your environment is part of your evolution. Choose voices that nourish your becoming, not your fears. 9, celebrate the small wins. Every day find something to celebrate. It can be as small as folding clothes after taking them out the dryer. Momentum is built through acknowledgement. Honor every step, even the tiny ones, because they count. And finally, you're not starting over. You're starting from. Everything you've lived, learned, and survived comes with you as wisdom. You're not empty, you're equipped. For those of you who like to write and journal, here are a few reflective questions for this week. What moment recently made you pause? Where have you been pretending that you're okay? What truth have you been avoiding? What is your spirit trying to tell you? Let your answers be gentle. Let them be honest. And as you step into this new season, whether it's a season of healing, rebuilding, expansion, or rediscovery, remember this: you don't have to have it all figured out. You just must be willing to show up as the next version of you. So until next episode, remember, you are graced and gifted for a time such as this. You have purpose in this world, and you have been created to do great and amazing things. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of season 6. Until next time, bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and don't forget to leave a review. You can follow Shira on all major platforms and on YouTube at Shira Renee 510. Until next time, spread love, show grace, and shine bright.